What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the TheSlamDuncan YouTube channel, and I'm also going to welcome myself back to my own channel, as, it's been a long time. I unfortunately have had some personal stuff going on, so I apologize for not uploading. I do miss Bulls basketball. I really honestly miss it. I will say that the end of the season was definitely deflating without Zach LaVine, so kind of, I lost my motivation to make videos, but it is officially the offseason. The Milwaukee Bucks have had the championship. They had the parade. Now we're talking about what's going to happen tonight, which you should see this video before the draft. But we're talking about the NBA draft tonight. We're going to get into the offseason as well. But in this video, it's just kind of, announcing my return in a sense. I did have a video planned with my friend David Burnout, who's been on this channel before. But unfortunately, due to his bad internet where he's currently staying, we were not able to make that video. But I want to kind of talk about a couple things. One is kind of where this channel is going to be going from here on out. I do have some really good ideas I want to do, and this is definitely better structure this time, so hopefully I'll be uploading consistently. I also want to potentially get into live streaming, after Bulls games, like post-game coverage. I think that'll be really fun, as that will be a good interaction, and also it will help me with my YouTube videos, because then I can edit it much easier. And then in this video specifically, I really want to talk about what's happening right now, as this is recorded 2 hours before the draft is about to start, and we got a bunch of, Woj and Shams tweets going out right now, and I do want to talk about the Bulls going into this draft, just briefly, and we'll start with that, and then after the draft is over, I am going to be talking about the Bulls and what they're going to be doing from here on out. I'm going to recap what they did in the draft, whether it's just they did nothing or they did a big move, and looking forward into free agency, as free agency starts August 2nd. So, we're only a couple days away from free agencies, as things are going to start really ramping up right now. But as I switch scenes here, I have a couple things brought up here, as you can see in my Twitter feed of basically just Wojnarowski notifications, but also Shams. I do this to keep up very, very, as much as possible. But I also have this pulled up for the Bulls, as I do want to kind of hint at some Bulls fans. A lot of Bulls fans are kind of saying, like, wow, the Bulls really don't have much to, really work with. They don't have cap space and yada, yada, yada. But I want to briefly kind of say, like, the Bulls do have cap space. I mean, just looking at this right now, if we take into account all these contracts, they're at $99 million. Remember, the cap is at $109 million, so around $10 million. But also remember, Satoransky, Young, they're not fully guaranteed. Al-Farouq Aminu, who picked up his option, you can waive and stretch. There are options for the Bulls, so if you're a Bulls fan that really, really wants Lonzo Ball, you can easily do that and also make moves on top of it as well. I am going to make a video where I show how Lonzo can also come to the Bulls, and we re-sign Zach LaVine to an extension that boosts him up to a max contract for this upcoming season, but that's for a different video at a later time. But for the Bulls tonight, I want to talk about tonight, specifically for the NBA draft. The Bulls have right now the 30th overall pick. Their number 8 pick is sent to the Orlando Magic from the Vucevic trade, which, by the way, I still think is a very good trade. I see a lot of Bulls fans hating at it. But I honestly don't expect too much from the Bulls tonight, and obviously this can change. I could be making a video in about 5 hours talk about all these crazy moves that the Bulls did. But I really don't think the Bulls could be doing too much tonight. One move that did just kind of pop up, which is kind of like, ooh, this is interesting, and maybe the Bulls can kind of, work with this, is that Brooklyn just made a trade with the Phoenix Suns, and Brooklyn now has the 29th pick. Not only did they have the 29th pick, they have the 27th pick as well. Brooklyn does not really have a backup point guard, and they're really, really stuck in terms of they don't have much money to work with. So, them getting draft assets is good for them. Maybe the Bulls, Carter could be like, hey, you want Satoransky for that 29th pick? I wouldn't be mad at that trade. I think it's actually a pretty good trade. Karnisovas gets another pick in the first round, and I trust Karnisovas with his drafting. But honestly, I don't think the Bulls are going to be doing too much tonight. It's going to be the 30th overall pick. My guess is probably going to be JT Thor. That's just kind of my, random guess. I mean, he can basically kind of go late first round, maybe early second round. We don't know. But that would be my guess for tonight. And again, it's not going to be, too much happening tonight for the Bulls. But maybe there is some things kind of that Karnisovas is planning that he's going to, right as the draft ends or something, he'll do something. But I want to talk about some of this crazy stuff that's happening right now. As the NBA draft tonight, it's really not even about who's getting drafted. I mean, we already know the first 3 picks thanks to Woj basically tweeting out, hey, here are the first 3 picks tonight. I mean, you might as well not even watch the draft, for God's sake, because you kind of know who the picks are going to be. But really, the draft tonight is all about all these trades that are going to be happening, and this is definitely one of those seasons our off season for the NBA, where there's gonna be a lot of trades happening and a lot of trades happening at draft night. I mean, we're having a bunch of trades happen right now, and it's not even the draft yet. Reason being is that a lot of teams have a lot of cap space right now, and they have room to work with. They have a lot more flexibility than in previous years where they're kind of they don't really have that much money, right? So this is definitely going to be a really crazy offseason. The Bucks did just win the championship, and now we're coming off that COVID season. It's going to be a regular season as well. You're going to see a lot of crazy things start happening with the NBA. As we first see right here, right off the bat, I mean, there is some crazy kind of stuff already happening between the Lakers and the Wizards, which I don't want to talk about in a little bit later here, but first things first is that Montrezl Harrell did pick up his option, which kind of surprised me, which means that he's probably going to either, it looks like, the Wizards or he's going to the Kings. We don't know yet, but we'll figure that out later. Brooklyn and Phoenix, I actually really like this trade for both teams. I think Phoenix actually does need more shooting, as crazy as that sounds, but we kind of saw in the playoffs that they kind of lack some shooting. But Landry Shamet is a perfect person to put in to that Phoenix roster. I think that's a great move. And I already talked with Brooklyn is that they get another first-round pick, which can be used as an asset, or Brooklyn is very, they don't have much money. They're really, really tight on cap space. If they want to, because if you have this pick, right, you automatically get that exception into your cap, right? So you're allowed to make that pick and pay him that money. So maybe they draft a guy that's ready now and implement them right into the roster, and hopefully they can compete for a championship. But that's what happens when you get 3 superstars on your roster. You don't have cap space. You don't have a lot of room to work with. So getting these assets for Brooklyn is a really, really smart move. They either trade it or use it, right? And now, lastly, I want to talk about this Russell Westbrook and Lakers. I mean, it's either going to be Buddy Hield going to the Lakers or it's going to be Russell Westbrook. Woj, I think, absolutely just got bodied by Shams, so that's, going to set Twitter off on fire. But this is definitely a really interesting thing kind of happening right now, because let's say Russell Westbrook goes to the Lakers. This signifies to the Wizards, hey, you should be hitting that rebuild button. But according to what Woj has said, the Wizards don't think that they're going to be trading Bradley Beal anytime soon. My guess is that maybe Bradley Beal is going to request a trade tonight, and then he might get sent off to maybe Philly, right? But honestly, I think the Wizards just need to hit that reset button. But big thing here is the Lakers, right? Let's say the Lakers get Russell Westbrook. They lose a ton of depth, but now they have the super team, right? They have the 3 all-stars, 2 superstars, and Westbrook, right? That's really good for the Lakers. And honestly, this type of trade seemed more feasible. I know a lot of Lakers fans were like, oh, we can get this guy or get this guy, like Zach LaVine, for example. But honestly, I did think that this Russell Westbrook trade could happen. And this is actually interesting to see, because I did not think the Wizards would accept it, but I thought maybe a three-team trade could happen. And there's some things that need to be worked out still with this trade, but that is definitely very interesting for the Lakers, that they do really need a point guard, and I expect Schroeder to not be on the roster. They could re-sign Schroeder with the bird rights and have him as a 6th man. Maybe that's a good idea as well, but then they're really in the luxury tax. But the other thing here is Buddy Hield. When I saw the Buddy Hield trade, I was like, really good trade. When I saw the Russell Westbrook trade, I was like, pretty good, but I think Buddy Hield is more valuable to the Lakers. You give up less, you get to keep more assets. That seems more valuable to the Lakers. And not only that, the Lakers were 25th in three-point shooting, I believe, last season. They need shooting, and Russell Westbrook does not provide shooting. So I think if the Lakers are smart, they go with Buddy Hield, but maybe that's just me talking. But I think Buddy Hield fits the Lakers roster much, much more. He is also a person that can get a shot at any point, so he is kind of sort of a shot creator, but he's more brought in for his shooting, which, put LeBron next to Buddy Hield. There you go. This little Ricky Rubio and Cleveland Cavaliers trade for Taurean Prince, I'm not really going to talk about that too much. I haven't really thought about that, really. But interesting stuff already happened before the draft. I'm looking forward to this draft. Really not for the draft itself, just looking forward to all these trades and all these accepted quote-unquote trades that really can't happen until August 6th. But it's going to be interesting to see. Obviously, my Bulls have some assets, Young, Satoransky, that could be moved. So I'll be very interested to see if they decide to move some of these guys maybe tonight. Or, maybe not, they can't do it officially, but they can accept the trade. Last thing I want to talk about before I wrap up this video, hopefully it was pretty quick, this channel. So I do really want to make this channel as a consistent thing for me. This really isn't for money purposes. This is actually just so I can have fun. As a person now that is still going through college and also quarantine, it's been kind of rough for me in terms of, basketball, talking basketball. Unfortunately, my mom has to hear all my basketball rants, but maybe I could do this instead. And this would be something really fun for me. I mean, I have some cousins and some friends, but they can't always, talk to me, right? But this is a chance for me to kind of talk my mind, and speak my basketball knowledge. And I think it'd be really fun. So not only make videos, I'm hoping to kind of, at least do stuff weekly once the regular season hits. I will be doing stuff, in this upcoming stuff, like the off season and everything. I will be making videos on that. But once the regular season hits, which is going to be in October, I do hopefully, we'll be doing stuff weekly in terms of the Bulls games. Hopefully one thing weekly about what's going on in the NBA, but also potentially doing live streams, because I really do think that, after a Bulls game, some people want to watch the NBC Sports, post game, but I do think it'd be cool if people can come into my stream and we can kind of talk about what just happened, right? And I think that would be a really cool thing, as, instead of all of us being on Twitter and kind of ranting on Twitter with our thumbs, we can actually kind of have like a full-out conversation, and you can kind of hear my thoughts, and I can break down stuff too, as you saw in my previous videos. But that's all I have to say for you guys. If you are new to the channel, make sure you hit that subscribe button. If you like this video, make sure you hit that like button. Comment down below my thoughts on this channel, this draft, what the Bulls are going to be doing moving forward. I'll see you guys right after this draft, hopefully. So maybe tonight or maybe tomorrow as I recap the draft. But we'll see what happens tonight. I am very excited for tonight. I'll see you guys later. Peace.